Hey, chat. How's it going? Good to see you. Where your ass go? You better get your ass back here. You see, you got me saying cuss words in the first 50 seconds. There goes the monetization. Hello, beautiful. It's good to see you. And there you go. Front and center of the class, Mr. Class Clown. Go right ahead. Hi. How y'all doing? I was just preparing myself for the conversation. This is not actually what we're here to talk about. We'll talk about Cersei and Tristan Lannister another time. Um, Cersei and Jamie Lannister. Sorry, I've been drinking. This is the proper topic, but we'll get back to that one in a second because we had a live earlier, and I just want to do a little bit of a recap for you all, for anybody who missed it. Tell you a couple things. But anyway, hi, good to see you. How are you doing? Happy Tuesday evening. I really don't have my thing on here. I don't have you all on screen. Let me fix that. There you go. There you are, beautiful people. Good to see you. Good to be seen by you. If you would be so kind as to hit the like button, I would appreciate it. Hello and good tidings to all the members, subscribers, and supporters in all the places. Shack, have a good night. Thank you for passing through. God. Members, subscribers, supporters in all of the places. Appreciate you very much. All of the lurkers, the lurkers that hate this channel but watch it anyway. Hi, hit the like button. All of the silent looters who do not chat, but you be here and we appreciate you. If you are chatting or following along with the chat, make sure you change your chat settings from top chat to live chat so you don't miss anything. And last but definitely not least, shout out to the mod squad. Well, thank you. Thanks for the promo. Speaking of promo, the Democrats suck. We have a new podcast right here on this platform. It's got a YouTube page. Would love it if you would please go on over there. Just skedaddle your little self over there. Subscribe, turn on your notification, skedaddle your pretty self right back over here. We're trying to get to 500 as quickly as possible because we got things to do. We got people to roast, things to do. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate you. So we are back for night 2 of a discussion about this biscuit head. But before we get to this biscuit head, I just want to let y'all know we had a live earlier today, looking at some new documents that have been put on the docket for Andrew and Tristan, who I affectionately refer to as Cersei and Jamie Lannister, because they have a weird relationship, which was only, I feel like, underscored in today's reading of the documents. Okay. Um, and through that reading, somebody said, "Are these ABSA? Have these people taken the top slot for dumbest criminals over Pooh Shiesty?" I said, "Child, no." First of all, I reject that out of hand. No. But then I had to think about it a little bit more so that I could, qualify my no. They are not dumber than Pooh Shiesty. The reason why I say they are not dumber than Pooh Shiesty is because everything that we are learning about that is making us go, people are stupid, isn't necessarily related to a crime that they are being charged with. So, for example, not even for example, but just to, get to the point. What we learned is just how stupid they are in regular everyday life. We don't yet know enough details about the alleged crimes they committed to determine just how stupid they were in committing them. Okay. What we know is how stupid these men are just on a Tuesday. Okay. Whereas Pooh Shiesty, that whole document is related to a crime, and everything in there is related to the alleged crimes that they committed. And so they take the top spot for dumbest fucking criminals. Yeah, it's a mixed match. We're gonna get to the Drake topic. I was just letting you all know. You should really run back the live from earlier today and, see what it is, that we're talking about. That's all. That's all. That's all. All right. We here. We back. Thank you, Claudia. Claudia got the link for you. It is an important distinction. Stupid in everyday life versus stupid while committing a crime. Two different things. So we've learned about stupid in everyday life, okay? I haven't had time to clip that live up, but I went back and watched some segments just so I could laugh in my full on not on camera self and just shake my head at the dumb. But okay, we're here to talk about Aubrey Drake Graham, who, to be fair, yes, we just talked about him last night. We did. Don't be so sensitive about your boy, okay? It's not that big of a deal. I think, aside from the Scrotox conversation, we were gentle. It's okay. Don't be so sensitive. I meant every word of it. Drake looks like somebody who's going on the African safari to kill some protected animals for a price. You know? It's just a duck? Mr. Duck Lips got a duck in his cooter? So there's duck lips in two places is what you're saying. I did... So that was last night. In case you missed it. Well, we haven't talked about it in full. Kiki says, I am so tired of talking about old Yeller. I mean, this man, what he do now. We haven't properly talked about it here. You know what I mean? We haven't dissected the video, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I thought, since this is a space of intention, okay, we would have an intentional conversation. Dang. Oh my God, Scrotox. I was like, I don't have testicles, so I wouldn't know that Scrotox is actually a real thing, but it is. But anyway, that was last night's conversation. We're not talking about Scrotox tonight, okay? Dang, stay focused.
Silly? Yeah. I am absolutely, by the way, you can look me dead in my eyes. If you say do it, I would fully
Okay. You're saying this, and now I'm gonna test it.
Okay. What do we, just give me one.
Would you bark for me? Good boy.
Drake is barking like a dog on the internet for everybody to see, which brings me to the question posed in the title of this live. Is Drake a success story? What the fuck is the remix? There's a remix of barking?
Silly?
Yeah. I am absolutely, by the way, you can look me dead in my eyes. If you say do it, I would fully
Okay. You're saying this, and now I'm gonna test it.
Okay. What do we, just give me one.
Would you bark for me? Good boy.
D2B2 in the Discord. Okay. He's barking to Not Like Us on the remix. Somebody put that in the Discord. We're going to rate the bark from 1 to 10. 1 is, I don't know, 10 is DMX. 1 to 10, 10 is DMX. Where does Drake rank in his barking and slight whining?
Billy?
Yeah. I am absolutely, by the way, you can look me dead in my eyes. If you say do it, I would fully
Okay. You're saying this, and now I'm gonna like test it.
Okay. What do we, just give me like one.
Would you bark for me?
Good
boy.
I realized that I messed up, and I apologize deeply to the chat. We have an agreement here. We have an agreement that the scale will be from 0 to whatever the top number is. So on a scale of 0 to DMX, how's Drake's barking going? Oh, Jesus Christ, there it is. 0, solid 1, 1, 0. Thank you. Negative 5.5. Now that's just me now. Oh my goodness, a 10 in desperation and a 0 in execution. We need negatives. Okay. Can I give it a negative 10? You know what? It's a democracy. You do whatever you want. I mean, even though he's a bitch, he still somehow failed this. Damn. Even though he's a bitch, he somehow failed this. The hell he ought to say?
Give me like one.
Would you bark for me? Good boy.
What do we, just give me like one.
Would you bark for me?
Hold on. Flows Fast says, I have a friend who is a furry, and even he thought this was far too much. Hold on. I know it's a little choppy. Hopefully the audio is coming through. Okay, you know some of these websites just be messing up the video quality. So hopefully the audio quality is coming through. We gonna run it again. Here we go.
What do we, just give me like one.
Would you bark for me? Good boy.
What do we, just give me like one.
Would you bark for me? Good boy.
What do we, just give me like one.
Would you bark for me? Good boy.
What do we, just give me like one.
Would you bark for me? Good
What are we?
Okay, well, now that I'm properly medicated. Jesus Christ. Furry B Production says, this is the best bars he has had in a while. Did you see me gulp down that fucking old fashioned? You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to savor it. I couldn't savor it.
Just give me like one.
Would you bark for me?
What are we? Just give me like.
Let me go get his Alpo? Oh my fucking God, you do this. His Alpo?
Just pull yourself together.
High five. I'm bulletproof.
I study rap battles for a living.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Farmer's dog. Farmer's dog. Get him the tuna fish bagel from the farmer's dog. Rita J for you says, you're 40 years old, Aubrey. 40. Like, come on. Okay, so I have some questions for the chat because, you know, I'm old, so I don't be knowing. So school me. Was this little segment or show or whatever, this dating thing, is this a one-off thing or is this an actual internet show that Drake is doing that is like a repeat thing? I don't know, because despite the content on this channel, I don't be paying attention to that man. Wow. He's worse than Deadite Max from Evil Dead. Burn it. I can't imagine doing it that pathetic. Goddamn barks of a drunk chihuahua or Mexican representative. Whether you're Mexican or not, you're in Mexico. No, not chihuahua is catching the strays. Barking? Like a debt-stricken toy poodle. This is actually facts. Chihuahuas are tougher than Drake. They have an esteemed lineage and history. Desi Deezer, hello. Somebody posted in here earlier, no black women. What the hell's the matter with you? Were you in airlock waiting to happen? I might have had a drink real fast like, but I ain't forgot you. We be itching to get off the airlock, and it's been a minute. Let me shake my TTs. Give me a reason. Try me. Gosh darn it says, a platform is a platform. Gotta flip it somehow. Well, if he was a musical genius, don't you think he would be in his bag online, on live stream, making music? Curtis King goes on live stream to make beats. People like it. Ryan, Iowa. Iceman Drake said, you know how he pop it for real. And my thing was, is he talking popping bottles or hips? I mean, I think it's already been established that Drake do pop ass with the worst of them. Not the best of them, the worst of them. My niece's mom has an ancient, cantankerous old lady dog, and she barks better than Aubrey. Oh, okay, thank you. I think they were talking about no black women being on this ghastly show for Aubrey. Well, that in and of itself, not the individual, but that in and of itself, since I'm itching to get it off, is worthy of an airlock. Nickelodeon, it's so good to see you. I feel like I haven't seen you for a while. I know we all be busy. It's not an indictment. I'm just saying. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while, and it's great to see you. Nickelodeon asks, does this actually prove for all the dogs had a ghostwriter? Does it? I don't know what you mean, but interesting. My sister has 2 Chorkies, and they got more bass than this. What is a Chorkie? That man has no friends. They would have never let it get this out of hand. Child, they would have stopped him 2 years ago, driven him to the rehab for whatever ego, drugs, drink, I don't know, driven him to the rehab and then posted outside like, try and leave. Try it. I have seen this kind of content around as well. Usually it's a panel of dudes who are behind the guy who is Red Rovered to the table to have the interaction. Those dudes be funny. This shit is not funny. It's pathetic. It's such a blessing to have somebody in your circle that cares enough about you to tell you to knock this shit off. Theodra says, and that is facts. And that applies to everybody, whether you're famous or not. Because, baby, I am not famous. And I've done some shit where I've had my friends be like, what are you doing? And vice versa. Everybody needs a friend to tell you, you full of shit, or you making an ass out of yourself. I've had both. I still don't know what that is. Oh, you were asking a question? I didn't see your question. Leon Coolington 9543 says his last 3 wasn't black women. I was asking how being a sister, how do you feel? I don't give a shit because black women don't put up with fuckery. Unless we don't have a brain and our pussy is our greatest asset. Then we put up with fuckery because fuckery is our business. I am not surprised real black women of a big age were not there because we are not interested in this tomfuckery. Thank you for coming to my Henrietta Lacks talk. Oh, thank you. Okay, thank you. It's a Chai / Yorkie. I was like, I still don't know. Did you not see me gulp this down? Chihuahua Yorkie. Thank you. And that is insane. Osmosis Bless says, I really believe his friends secretly hate him. Name a Drake friend. To be a Drake friend, even though I do believe, I do believe that if your friends do work for you, you should pay them. But we know this is a special case. Excuse me, I drank that down real fast. Name a Drake friend. I'll wait. Because he has no appreciation. Because he's an idiot. Ain't nothing wrong with a man wearing Miss Parker shorts now. I don't know if you know this, but I am a lieutenant in the Alphabet Mafia. Okay. Yes, we already know this established. We already know this is established. Leon Coolington says, just saying, he is a snow bunny chaser. And baby, I don't give a shit. That doesn't harm me in any way, shape, or form. It does not harm me in any way, shape, or form. Not at all. Not at all. I do not feel any kind of way about a black man who does not choose a black woman. I feel some kind of way about your fucked up parents. But I don't feel any old kind of way. If you don't recognize, baby, we don't want you here. If you don't recognize, we don't want you here. You are not a loss. It's not a betrayal. You didn't appreciate us to begin with, and you weren't willing to do the personal work to cut the shit that we won't put up with in a relationship. Again, big grown, more than just a pussy. Wait a minute. He has a secret Discord account? With his secret Discord account, I wonder if Drake joined the Discord, reads it, and cries, well, that motherfucker has to be a member on the channel. You can't just pop up in the Discord as some unknown name that we ain't never seen before. Immediately the reaction is, hello, welcome. Thank you for being here. Who the fuck are you? That is the immediate reaction. That's why in my Discord, you have to change your name to match your YouTube. Because if you come in with a different name, like your Discord wide name, then, and you come in like Kikiing and da-da-da-da-da, we are immediately looking at you like you are sus. Oh, look, the fed's here. Who the fuck is you? Is the immediate response. And then as soon as they change your name and we recognize it, it's like, oh, beloved, how you doing? So happy to see you. Welcome to the Discord. A question from the chat. Let me try to understand. Is this all to prove to his cult that he does actually have money? Like, see? I can see, how can I be broke when I bribe white women on podcasts? So this is interesting, right? Like, I have seen this woman before. As soon as I watched the clip, I was like, oh, I recognize her. She's got the fangs. Now there are a lot of people who recognized her for something else that she has, which is covered up in the video. But I was like, oh yeah, I recognize her. She has the fangs. And then I thought to myself, you know, those talent shows, America's Got Talent, Britain's Got Talent, The Voice, and so on. One of the things that you learn about those shows, the more of them you watch, is that they are their own circuit. People who have appeared on one competition appear on 6 other competitions. They literally travel the planet competing on shows, creating a narrative. And so I don't know, and I'm not making an accusation, but I thought when I was like, oh yeah, I recognize her, I immediately thought about the people who are trying to get discovered. Meanwhile, you've been on, 6 different reality talent competition shows and made it to like the finals or the semifinals. So people do know who the fuck you are. But anyway, I thought, oh, I wonder if this is also a circuit. I don't know. I don't know if they're paid for their appearance. I have no idea. But all of those thoughts ran through my head as I was watching the video. And if you haven't seen the video and you think you can get away with not seeing the video, not here, beloved. We stay informed, okay? You need to know.
Silly?
Yeah. I am absolutely, by the way, you can look me dead in my eyes. If you say do it, I would believe it.
Okay. You're saying this, and now I'm gonna like test it.
Okay. What do we, just give me like one.
Would you bark for me? Good boy.
Okay, I asked the question. Name a Drake friend. Chubbs says Groovy or Tony. Good to see you, beautiful. Kiki says Baca and Chubbs. I thought they were all paid. I thought they were a part of his staff. Chubbs is staff. I thought Baca was staff as well. I thought Chubbs was allegedly security and Baca was a body man. Flows Fast says, not to beat a dead horse, but wasn't it 616 in LA about how his friends hate him? Beloved, beat that dead dog. Okay? Beat that old yeller. It's fine. It's okay. I have always believed that he does not have friends. He has either associates or he has paid staff who he thinks are actually his friends, particularly the black paid staff. But I don't think any of them motherfuckers would be around, especially for the length that they are around and the time commitment to be around him. That is a job. You have to pay me. If I'm not independently wealthy and you want me by your side 24/7, you're going to have to pay me so I can pay my bills. Nisi says he's only friends with Aubrey. Moses Bliss says, I just assumed out of the 100 people around him, at least one of them got to be his friend, right? Do they have to be his friend, beloved? Or are you just being aspirational on his behalf? If he had friends, he wouldn't dress like he does, says Claudia. Well, what the fuck is wrong with his clothes? You just rude. Y'all so judgmental.
Gwen, what's wrong?
I got shiny pants.
And what's wrong with your shiny pants?
Someone could have a duck in my cooter.
And what did you learn, Gwenna?
There's a reason it's hard to find shiny pants for girls who can start a fire with their
Okay, now listen, Down in Dixie, I don't want to blow up your head or anything, okay? And also my disclaimer and also like plausible deniability for this comment is the fact that I just downed a full old-fashioned while watching
One.
Would you bark for me?
What are we?
Okay, but having said that, I've really missed your beautiful face and your gorgeous goddamn beard. Anyway, moving on. You're welcome. Adam 16. Do you mean Adam 22, but you're being funny? I don't care. So here's the thing. The chat might care, but I can promise you I don't care. I'm here for funsies. I've had a drink. I don't have my glasses on. That should be the first indicator. I don't take this stuff seriously. First indicator, I'm not wearing my glasses. I don't take this topic seriously. Second indicator, I literally started this live off drinking. Okay? I don't take this topic too seriously. So I don't care. I don't care about those kinds of details. Gossip doesn't really do anything for me. I'm very much like a fact-based person. Although I have said when it comes to Drake, I've definitely started paying attention to the rumors for the fact that they merely exist at this point in time is enough for me to pay attention to them when they come up. But I'm still waiting for proof that many of the rumors surrounding Drake are actually true. And I've had a lot of people send me shit that they think is proof of the various rumors about Drake. And I can tell you none of it is, but that's okay. Baca is a part of his label. Baca is a rapper too. Ain't that sweet, Purple Haze? You're so generous. I mean, technically on paper, he is a rapper too. That's so kind of you to give him credit for what he wants credit for. Also, I've missed you, and it's good to see your beautiful face. I'm feeling slightly less shadow banned by all the people that are here. Mika Red is here too. My God, this is fantastic. I had a hunch, I had a hunch. I was like, okay, I feel like I should go live. Okay, I don't necessarily have anything to talk about. Pick a fucking topic. I feel like I should go live. And I did. And here you all beautiful people are, and I just love that. They both are paid. Drake has only transactional friends. Claudia with a beautiful reminder for the chat that we keep the all caps to a very specific minimum, okay? If you're all capsing to try and get my attention, I'll ignore you on purpose because it's rude. You don't need to yell at me, beloved, okay? You don't need to do that. Thank you very much. Yeah, no, I didn't say that. I did not say technically. I said, what I said was, oh God, Kiki asking me to go back on what I fucking said after I've been drinking. Okay. What I said was, if your friends do work for you, I think that you should pay them. But because we are talking about Drake, and what I meant by that is all of the conversations that we have had about Drake, his entourage, whether or not he has people around him that objectively care about him or so forth. And I may have not said this as eloquently before but I'm saying it now. So thank you for calling me out. For the purposes of this conversation, because we were talking about Drake, built upon everything that we have talked about Drake over the past 2 years, let's set aside friends who may be on his staff. Do we know of any friends who are not for sure, and they are just friends? Do we know that? I don't know. I'm asking objectively and ignorantly. I'm not asking it as a rhetorical question. Kiki always keeping me honest, and I appreciate you. We've been running for 37 minutes, 52, 53, 54 seconds. Welcome. Afro Butterfly says, I consider rumor and fact. They're just context clues for me. Thank you for saying that much better than I did. Absolutely. Context clues. And I don't poo-poo context clues. I think that they are very important. They're not necessarily proof, but they are very important. It's okay. You ain't got to explain. We all got lives. We all got things to do. It's all right. I just wanted to let you know what I was feeling. You don't have an obligation to be here. I always say that. Nobody has an obligation to be here, even mods. It's all voluntary. I'm just saying I get used to seeing some folks and I missed you. Legacy Build says, isn't Steak paying for the things he's given out? Child, we assume so. But I don't know that we know that for sure. I said that about his annual ladies' night that just happened. My immediate question was, the man can't pay his company bills and his bank notes. So who paid for him to give away $1 million worth of stuff? And that was a rhetorical question. I don't really care or want to know. But the chat's reaction was steak, 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 steak. They are indelibly linked. They are. Steak and Drake are indelibly linked together, for better or for worse. Hi, beautiful. Little bitty one, it's good to see you, beautiful. Based on my observation, it seems like he has no actual friends and everyone uses him. That's okay, beautiful. Y'all got lives. We all got things to do. I get it. We get it in when we can get it in. I mean, that's what, one of the reasons why, unfortunately, I don't yet have just a regular set. This is my live schedule is because we get it in when we can get it in. So to the person who sent me $10 to tell me just how much they hate my live content, thank you. You are correct. You are correct. Kiki's like, you didn't say all that. You're right. I didn't. I shorthanded it. I said for the purposes of Drake, I didn't expound, and I should have. Thank you for slowing me down and holding me accountable. I do not know. I don't have the foggiest fucking idea what you're talking about. Nickelodeon says, remember that dinner video? I don't even know if those people were his real friends. I don't even know what you're talking about, but I'm assuming that the chat does. Furry B Production says he had one friend and they were killed in a shooting. Leon Coolington says the game is his friend. Well, that's a terrible friend to have. With friends like that. She sure has. She sure has. I've been drinking. I get filthy when that liquor get up, okay? I be thinking. Why can't you keep your fingers off of daddy or mommy? Equal opportunity. Peach cheeks over here. What I'm saying. Kiki says Yachty is paid, but I do believe Yachty would hang out with him even without being paid. How do you know Yachty is paid? Or are you just making the, reasonable assumption? I'm just curious. Kiki says, like, I genuinely believe Yachty is in love with Drake. Really? Furry B Production says Yachty has stopped hanging out with Drake. So it's unrequited love, is what you're saying. Afro Butterfly says, I'm headed to the tequila. Child, I'm so sad that I drank that so fast. But listening to that goddamn remix, I was like, I'm going to need to drink this right now and just let it hit my system. Yeah. Oh yeah. I knew this as well, but you don't have to like him or necessarily be in love with him or be his friend or have a personal relationship for that business transaction of being a ghostwriter. Part of my job is being a ghostwriter. If I believe in the message that it is that you are trying to convey, I'm going to ghostwrite for you. If I don't believe in the message that you're trying to convey, I'm not going to ghostwrite for you. If I believe you are the right messenger for the messenger that you are trying to convey, I'm going to ghostwrite for you. If I don't believe that, I'm not gonna. But I don't have to necessarily personally know you, have a personal relationship with you to say I'm going to do that. I just need to believe that you have the integrity to hold the message that I craft for you. And that you put your name on. And I'm the one that did all the work. I do remember that. He's completely unbothered. And we lined up that interview, which I believe was Yachty's. Was it Yachty's own podcast? Either way, nuanced detail. We lined up when he was making those statements after everything came out in the lawsuit. We lined up the timing of that with what Drake's lawyers were doing on the back end at the time. Let's just say the two don't match, okay? Oh, this is definitely not a friendship. Ack and Drake is not a friendship at all. It is a resentful, abusive, symbiotic relationship between a leech that is fused to the host and the host who thinks the leech is helping him. Fresh nails and a sundress, heading to do damage. I know that's right. Not a sundress, child. Fuck him up. I've heard good things. I hope you enjoyed yourself. The candlelit dinner where young Drake uses local slang dialect while discussing certain colloquial speech patterns as ignorant or rude. I don't remember. I don't care. That's not the topic. Why you trying to distract us from the topic? Cole can catch a stray later. Yeah, I think he hates DJ Academics. And I think that the latest interaction with them, their little, date that they finally went on together where they were, in the same place at the same time, 2 dates actually. I think that is just purely because Drake is desperate for attention. He understands the space that Wackademics occupies, and he really needed the statistics for Iceman. So he greased the tracks to Academics' cooch of approval. I've been drinking. I don't have anything witty, to say that makes sense. But that's what I saw in watching those interactions was Drake greasing the tracks directly to Act's cooch, and Act just thighs open like, finally penetrate me. But that's just me. Kiki says Ack may like Drake, but Drake definitely does not like Ack. The chain was just a stunt and is probably made of stainless steel. Is rude, Kiki. Afro Butterfly says leech on a summer mink. Child, the summer mink. Somebody killed the summer mink already. God, put it out of its memory. Put it out of its misery. I feel like I did say it best, and that's why I rarely make a video about that mofo. He is a night crawler. I probably should update that video, but I haven't really felt a compelling need to. Wow, Rita J for you says, so what I'm learning here is Drake's friends are either paid fanboys or his mama. Ah, okay, got it. Thank you so much for posting this. I appreciate you. One time for the Docket Fund plug. We down bad. we down bad because we had to go into Los Angeles County to get some documents. It costs a lot of money. So we down bad. If you can contribute to the Docket Fund, it makes a huge difference. Thank you. Appreciate you. Okay, moving on. Nishi says, so I Googled in incognito mode because I love myself. All of his close friends are people he has done business with or paid. One of them is his cousin. So maybe him. Baby, let me tell you something. If any of my cousins contact me to hang out with them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you're going to have to pay me for that. But I feel you, though. You would hope that family actually gave a shit. Mendez says, Absol, please, I'm eating dinner. It is not my fault. I did not do it. I'm not the one barking. Okay? You ain't hear me bark. And I can tell you, I'm not going to demonstrate. I got a better bark than Drake. Okay? Furry Bee Production says, like a slip and slide or a well-greased piston? That's a great question. I feel like slip and slide. Drake doesn't know what the fuck a piston is. Down in Dixie 74 says this nigga's wearing a double-breasted blouse and Ving Rhames baby boy 12s. Oh my God, I hate you so much. Now we gotta fucking look at it again. Shit. No, that's the wrong button. I took it off the share screen. Hold on. I didn't notice that. Are you talking about the video? I didn't notice that. Let me look at his feet again. Hold on. It's okay. Hold your nose. We're gonna watch it again.
Just give me like one.
Would you bark for me?
What do we?
Can't see it there, but now I'm looking in this photo. Let me pull this up for myself elsewhere so I can zoom in. I'm laughing for two reasons. Number one, my horror at the shoe. Number two, my instant realization that my reaction was caught on camera. I just zoomed in on the shoe. Oh, drink. Oh, I can't stand y'all. I really can't stand y'all. Shit. I've been drinking now. You're supposed to take care of me. I'm inebriated in public. You're supposed to take care of me now. Whew. I'm actually not inebriated. I'm not even tipsy. I'm just feeling silly. Black socks with fire. We talked about this last night when this motherfucker was wearing brown outfit with pink in the pants. Pink was a major color in them snakeskin pants. We literally talked about this last night. This motherfucker is always sneaking in black where black does not belong. Why? Why can you not wear a brown fucking sock? I hate you. Sorry. This is what I'm saying. I don't think those are Stacy's. I don't know if I want to give him that much cred. Maybe it is a dark brown sock. But the shoe is ugly. I'm also just forgetting all of a sudden, what is it paired with? Okay, let's look at the full thing. Okay. First of all, I'm not on the goose. Knock it off. Kiki says, okay, auntie. Time to hop off the goose. I'm okay. I had one drink. I'm good to go. Drake dresses like a silent cry for help. Child. I would agree. The entire fit is pissing me off. That's how I felt about the fit we talked about last night. That's how I felt about the mustard green complete leather ensemble that we saw in the Iceman zine. I really hated that outfit. Oh my God. Anything leather head to toe. I don't like it, especially if you are a man, because men funk up different than women. Okay. I don't want any parts of that. I think it looks tacky. I think it feels tacky. Did I mention that I think it looks tacky? He dresses like the old nigga at the club. Not just the old nigga at the club, the nigga that a little too old to be at the club. Hence why, what are you doing with this Pop-Tart? What the fuck are you doing? Even at the point where he says, if you look me in your eye, in my eye, if you look me in my eye and you tell me to do it, I'm going to do it. There is a level of honesty there that is alarming. And he tries to couch it like, hold on, he starts, he's like, he realizes what he said and he's like, well, just give me like, something, implicitly, it's like he's trying to say like, okay, before you go there, like, give me something safe that I can work with. And her response is, will you bark like a dog? And he immediately does it. The more you all talk about this, I'm either starting to remember what you're talking about, or you have once again incepted a memory into my brain. Congratulations. I hope you all have hit the like button while you're here. There's 120 gorgeous people here. How many likes do we have? That be the question of the moment. Yes, he is. Because where do you get that kind of fashion sense from Canada? They don't dress that way in Canada. I don't even dress that way in Texas. So I just don't get it. Okay, and I don't have a problem saying that. I don't get it. I'm not trying to yuck anybody's, yum, but I don't get it. I feel like you all need a clear example of what it was that, we were talking about. This is what we were talking about. Hey, that's fantastic. Good job, chat. Good job, chat. You can make it higher. I'd appreciate you. Kiki says Drake has a great opportunity to bring back zoot suits once he turns 40. Oh my God. That she does not need to be rescued. Pause. Che says, I want to rescue that goth girl. Like, babe, you can get a better sub than this. Love yourself. She does not need to be rescued. Nope, we're not doing that. No. She's not a victim of shit. She's not vulnerable to shit. She's not stupid to shit. This is a seasoned internet presence with her big titties all the way out. She does not need help or saving. We are not doing that. We are not doing that. Matter of fact, she can have that dirty asshole motherfucker. She don't want him. She wants the clips and the attention and the likes and the, ooh, she was the girl who appeared in the video. She don't want that man. She wants these interactions that are transactions that do something for her independent of him. She does not need to be rescued. She told him to bark like a dog, and he did. And the fact that she is described as goth girl, she's not a dom. She's a little Pop-Tart on the internet performing for everybody's approval. And not even approval, just attention. That pays. But she doesn't need a single motherfucker's help. She can have that dirty ass dog. Nobody forced her to go on there. Nobody forced her to have that interaction. Nobody forced her to give him that prompt. Nobody forced any of that. This is her shtick. So as I said earlier, these little shows that they put up with women coming up and sitting down and blah, 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 blah. Is this a circuit for the guests? Like the talent singing shows are a circuit for unsigned talent, not undiscovered, because we see them on Britain's Got Talent and they get to the semifinals and they lose. And then 6 months later, we see them on America's Got Talent. 2 shows owned by the same fucking company trying to spin a different fucking narrative like she wasn't just on your other show in another country. Them girls will fly to Albania's Got Talent and act like they weren't on America's Got Talent and Britain's Got Talent. It's a circuit for them. It's not just the performance that's on stage, it's the performance of being a contestant. And that is what she was doing on this show. She is performing being a contestant. So when people say, "Oh, this is a dating show," no, the fuck it's not. No, it is not. I was born in the 70s. This is not a dating show. This is people performing a dating show. That too. Thank you for pointing that out. He wants to be Simpson 5225. Hello, gorgeous. Says he wants to be a pimp named Slickback. So is this like Tristan Tate jumping on a boat and declaring himself Captain Vladimir Scorpius? If you didn't see the earlier live today, this makes no sense to you. But if you did, I feel like the answer is yes. Alex says it's definitely a network / circuit for content creators. Honestly, after the waterfowl conversation last night, you put that so delicately, so respectfully. Like we actually had an objective academic conversation about waterfowl. In case you're wondering what the fuck he's talking about, we talked about a duck in Drake's cooter inside these pants, but I digress. Honestly, after the waterfowl conversation last night, I figure the next logical step is corduroy. Well, I think he did that already. He did corduroy. He did corduroy overalls in one of his. No, wait, hold on. I might be conflating some things. At one point in time, so here's what I was going to say. I was going to say he did corduroy, and he did corduroy as a part of the Iceman promo. I don't know if that's true. It may have just been happening around the same time. He did corduroy when he went to the beer festival and dressed like a fucking idiot. Remember that? The overalls that he wore that only went down to like his knees, and then he had like the socks pulled up, the whole getup, the little hat and all of that. Though I'm pretty sure those were corduroy overalls. I could be wrong. But that's the memory that pops into mind. The Hansel and Gretel core outfit. Yeah, that's the one. That is the one. I don't know if it was actually corduroy, but in my head, they were corduroy overalls. Yeah. No, corduroy would not surprise me at all. It would not surprise me at all. I just don't fucking get it. I really don't. I really don't. And then he's still got the tension alopecia going down the center of his head. And beloved, isn't that why you cut off the braids to prevent the balding line? Now the balding line is back. Whatever. I'm not judging. Okay, I feel like we may have drifted slightly. I feel like we may have drifted slightly. Okay. That's just rude, beloved. Bendino says, with my glasses off, he looks like a blackened mouth. Now that's just rude. Oh, I love corduroy. Good corduroy is like good velour. Like that velour jacket that you all see me wearing from time to time, the burgundy velour jacket that I wear on here. It's a 2-piece outfit, actually. It is so warm, so nice, such good quality velour. And it makes me, I remember the first time I put it on, I immediately got a flashback to one of my grandmothers who, on the weekends or whatever, she was always worked out and took care of herself, but she would wear velour tracksuits. And as soon as I put the one on that I have, I was like, I get it. I get it, Grandma. I get it. The shit is warm. It's comfortable. Good velour is good velour, just like good velvet, not cheap velvet, good velvet, and good corduroy. I feel like in the 80s, even though we had a lot of clothing that was flammable, um, we had better quality velour, velvet, and corduroy. I wouldn't be concerned about that. Was it lederhosen? No, it wasn't lederhosen. I wouldn't give it that much credit. It was a costume that was supposed to look like an organic outfit. That's what it came off as to me. Kiki says, I feel like 90% of everything in the 80s was flammable. Oh, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Everything was flammable. Our clothing was flammable. Our curtains and carpet, flammable. The way our houses and apartment buildings were built, also flammable. Our furniture was flammable. The cushions and the covers that you put over the furniture, it was also flammable. Hell, some of our drinks were flammable. Ah, the 80s. God damn it. I've been saying for at least a month, I need to tighten this microphone. Have I done it? No, I have not. Okay. Boy, oh boy, it's been over an hour. We've gone round the way. Okay, we gonna come back to the focal point, and I'm gonna ask the chat one question. And I'm gonna lick the last bit of liquor in this glass. Oh man, I ate all the cherries already. Shit. Okay, for the chat, is Drake a success story? If you want to share your definition of success in the process, that's fine. If you don't have an answer, but you have a thought, that's okay. If you have a yes or you have a no, that's good too, because success is in the eye of the beholder. So we know his, homo parasocial, red pill, MAGA fans definitely think Drake is the pinnacle of success. I think he's purely pathetic, but what do you think? Oh my God, this is so true. Nisi says some drinks today are still flammable. I wasn't referring to the alcoholic beverages of adults. I was referring to the children's drinks. Just for clarification on my end. That's not true that nobody respects him, Janice Rael. He's got a whole harem of men who would do anything for him. They think he's the greatest thing ever and they respect him. Right? Natrice, oh, it's good to see you, assassin. Natrice Gaskins says, yes, he's a success story if you're a degenerate. Joyce Clay says, no, your music diva is here. Well, thank you for gracing us with your presence. Says, no, he is an industry plant. Nisi says he's a cautionary success story. Leon Coolington says, yes, morally, no. Natrice again. Drake is a successful creep. Flashburn says, if your goal is to look like a walking midlife crisis, then he wins a cookie. Damn. And I'm not defining it for you. Purple Haze says, success depends how you define success. If success is numbers only, then yes. But if success is quality, I do not think so. And we didn't even talk about, like you pointed out, like, depends on how you define success. We didn't even attribute it to one thing or the other, right? Your attribution here, and it's not an indictment, I'm just saying your comment raises this for me. Your attribution here is to his career, not necessarily him as a person, which is totally fine. Depends on how you define success. If success is numbers, then as an artist in his career, he is successful. But if success is quality as an artist in his career, I do not think so. Rhetorical question, not necessarily for you, for everybody. What about the person? Thank you for helping to tease that thought out. Yes, in the sense, Claudia says, yes, in the sense of numbers and industry key performance indicators. That's how I know I haven't been drinking that much. I can still touch my finger to my nose. Key performance indicators, no in personal growth. Kyrie Johnson, good to see you, beautiful, says, he's a fall from grace to me. He likes to compare himself to MJ, but MJ would not move like this. Plus, he chases validation. And to me, he's too old for this, child. I would agree. Hold on a second. Shanaria Williams Simpson says, this is a trick question. Technically, he is a success to conservatives and neoliberals. Concerning leftists and revolutionists, I'm afraid he's not even close to subpar. Oh, no. I love to be able to correct people when they're wrong about something that I say. That's not the context in which I was discussing it. So it's not a trick question. It's a direct, full question about him, the individual, and his career. And it would not be accurate to say that for the entirety of his career, Drake has been uplifted by nothing but MAGA, red pill, black pill, right adjacent people. That would be a faulty premise. For a large portion of his career, Drake was propped by women. It's not a trick question. Purple Haze says, I think Drake's success is exaggerated. He has to work 3 times as much to achieve. That is a great point. He has a very high output for a very low return, or drop 3 times the music. Meanwhile, Kendrick has 1/3 the catalog and more impactful achievements. Kiki says, I think he was groomed for success. Me too. Me too, child. Me too. Osmosis Bless says he isn't a success story as far as starting from the bottom and striking it rich. Furry B Production says, wow, I was only thinking about him from a career standpoint. From a person standpoint, fuck no. He's not a successful person. Leon Coolington says, morally, F no. Osmosis Bless. He is, however, a success in terms of making hundreds of millions of dollars. And so this is all, again, as I said at the very beginning before I asked this question, success is in the eye of the beholder. And for some people, it's heavily tied to morality. And for other people, it's not. It's about the bag. It's about moving yourself from one circumstance to another. And for a lot of people, that constitutes a success story. One of the reasons why I think this is an interesting question, if we're being serious and objective about it, is I had mentioned previously, not very long ago, but I mentioned that I had had a lengthy conversation with my son about some of the popular Black content creators that we're stuck dealing with right now out there in the world. And he first tried to kind of brush me off and tell me it's a generational thing, you don't get it, or it's an age thing, you don't get it. And my response was, that's ageist and horseshit. And I actually demand that you explain it to me because I'm not a stupid person and I can comprehend information. So it's not an age gap or generation gap, it's an information gap. And I'm asking you to be the one to present me with information that I haven't considered before. And he did. And I remember asking him directly if Kai Cenat was a success story. And he said, abso-fucking-lutely. And I was like, what? And he laid out his reasons, and I found that I could not necessarily argue with them because success is in the eye of the beholder. And some of the things that he pointed out, even though success is in the eye of the beholder, I had to admit that, oh, yeah, I share that standard. Not all of them, but some of them. I was like, yeah, that checks out for me. Yeah, that checks out for me. Yeah, that checks out for me as he was talking. And the sticking point was the morality after the success. And this is something that Gen X, and it may apply to other generations as well. I can't speak to them. I'm Gen X. I was born in the 70s, as everybody damn well knows who's a regular on this channel. I'm going to be 49 in a couple months. My generation was taught heavy morality in ways that we are still discovering and unpacking in our big old ages. And we were taught fully conditioned that the purpose of human beings on the planet was to make the world a better place for the planet and for every living thing on it. I mean, it was like incepted into our DNA from a very, very, very young age. And so, and again, I'm not saying we're the only generation. I can only speak for my generation. But one of the things that can often come up for Gen X when we are evaluating whether or not something is a success or not is not the individuality of the thing, but the social impact of the thing. And in having this conversation that I was having with my son about Kai and a couple other folks, I Show Speed, a couple others who I'm like, they are fucking annoying. I'm finding it. Hold on, because a bunch of thoughts just went through my head of other people that he and I were talking about. But anyway, in having that conversation with him, one of the things that I realized I was super focused on that he was not focused on was this expectation that we were conditioned to believe very young in Gen X is that when you achieve some level of success, stability, financial freedom, whatever, however it is defined, that you give back, you make the world a better place, you educate yourself on the issues, and you contribute positively, typically on the left side of the aisle of things politically. And our conversation started to lean into the nuance of that, of, okay, maybe you're on the left side of things with your fame and accomplishments and resources that you have amassed. Maybe you're on the right side of things. Maybe you've decided to abdicate any of that and not participate. When does that become a problem? Is not participating a problem? Is it problem enough? Does it become a problem when you're not participating, then gets hijacked by another entity that can puppet string your absence? Your unwillingness to speak up about what your intention actually was? What it was that you meant to do? Your unwillingness to send a cease and desist and stick your lawyers on the White House like you would another Black artist and their label? Became a much more nuanced, complicated conversation. And instead of just saying you're wrong and people have to morally positively contribute, I just honestly just listened and thought about it. And it did change my perspective on some of the people who are out here who annoy the shit out of me, and whether or not they are or are not a success. I'm off my soapbox. Let's see what y'all saying in the chat. Floral Forest says, with regards to Drake, success would involve less control by or reliance on UMG. I'd want to make my money and disappear. That would be success. Again, in the eye of the beholder, and there's nothing wrong with that. Thank you. I don't think it's no more. I think I wouldn't do that. I don't think it's no more. I think it's more complicated than what it was that we were told, because we were told these things as if it were a blanket reality for everybody, and that was never true. That was never true. We were lied to as a generation. And I've shared before that in my older age, it is the thing that put me into an existential crisis about what is the purpose of my life. And then having had children and understanding what it is to have a new human being who is connecting things, the way that you teach them, raise them, educate them, you literally create the reality. They don't know anything else. They're new people on the planet. So at certain ages, if you tell them certain things, that is the only truth that they know, and they assume that that truth is the truth. It was a truth, but it was never the truth. And it is the thing that I have wrestled with the most existentially. And I never thought I would ever have an existential crisis. Remember when people started talking about existential crisis this, existential crisis that? I'd be like, you need to pull your shit. I was like, I cannot relate. I do not know what that is. I do. I do. Marshall Iron says, also, does legacy factor into a success story? I mean, we could take this completely out of Drake and music and hip hop, and we could talk about, I mean, if we wanted to, we could talk about like Barry Bonds and the Hall of Fame. And what is the truth of the story of baseball? And he wasn't juicing his whole career, and he was a freak of nature. And he is a part of the story of baseball. The legacy doesn't go away, even though he betrayed the game. He is still considered one of the greatest. Does he have an asterisk? Yes. So does Mark McGwire. But they both still have a legacy that has had an impact on the game and continues to have an impact, a positive one, to this day. I'm in my bag. Yep. Reduce, reuse, recycle. We are the generation that closed the hole in the ozone layer. We are the generation that planted trees every year on Arbor Day at public schools and private schools. We are the generation that were taught those things. We wrote policy and legislation and got it passed to make the world a better, safer, healthier place, because we thought that was the role of all humanity, and nobody bothered to fucking tell us that there is a whole swath of humanity that does not feel the same fucking way. Whether it's out of survival, greed, there's a whole array. It's not all bad. Some of it is just necessary for survival. People are like, I ain't got time for that shit. That's why when we here in Western countries are like, manifest this, and all you got to positive self-talk, and you can think your way positively out of anything. I'm like, tell people in Gaza that is horse shit. I mean, it is true, but it's also equally horseshit. We have the privilege for magical thinking, for daydreaming, for goal setting. We have the privilege of that where we are. Manifesting is a privilege. It's not a universal right. And that's devastating to realize. Some sign checks I know better than. Kiki says, how do you think Drake would answer this question of whether or not Drake is a success story? And believe it or not, I did think about that before this live. Based on everything that I just said, I think that he would say yes. I think that Drake does think that he is a success story. And I think one of the reasons why he's so frustrated is because he can't understand why he isn't universally being treated that way. He's not getting the respect. He has a very clear definition of success in his mind. He has a very clear formula, right? Somebody pointed out the MJ comparison earlier. You know, he likes to compare himself to MJ, but MJ would never A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. But he's not comparing himself to Michael on those A, B, C, D, E, F, and Gs. He's comparing himself to Michael on numbers. He's really not comparing himself to Michael, the person. He's comparing himself to Michael, the numbers. So I think that he would say, yes, he is a success, because I agree with you that he was bred for this. He was raised, he was conditioned. And when I say bred, I don't mean by his parents. I mean by the industry at a very young age. But he was, conditioned for this at a very young age. And he was told this and he believed it. And that's what connected in his brain. And so I think one of the challenges that he has is that because that is his frame of reference for success and he has accomplished it, he doesn't understand why we're sitting here having a conversation about him barking. That's my thought. What do you think, chat, about Kiki's question? How do you think Drake would answer this question? He's another one. This is true too. It's still a part of the history of the Tour de France. It's still a part of the history of cycling. Does it have a lot of asterisks and footnotes next to it? Yes. And that story has been told time and time again in great documentaries and documentary series about what it was that he did and the impact that it had on the sport, both positive and negative. And it is also his legacy to the day he dies, until the earth fucks off into the sun. So, yeah. It's not necessarily. I think the other thing that we kind of assume is that success means good. And as I said the other night, that Donald Trump is the most, I believe my words were, Donald Trump is the most effective president the United States of America has ever had. And I will say that to anybody. I will argue it to anybody. And I will be right, because defines effective. It doesn't mean good. Effective doesn't mean morally good. Effective means the president had a platform before he came into office, and he has largely executed the majority of it in less than 18 months. No president since the guy that used to run around riding bears I feel like that was Teddy Roosevelt, but the drink is starting to hit me. Has been that successful because nobody's been willing to just ram shit through. So I think Donald Trump has been one of the most successful and effective presidents in the history of the presidency of the United States of America. That doesn't mean he's been good. And Coca-Cola. It's been funny seeing people mad at Coca-Cola because they won't allow people to put Christian slogans on their cans or containers. But you're not mad at Coca-Cola for helping to privatize water away from indigenous people. Whatever. It's fine. Floral Forestry Fairy says, I believe that Drake is too prideful to say anything but yes, he is a success story. Osmosis Blessed says he absolutely thinks he's a success story. Your music diva is here. He hasn't earned respect. What does that have to do with success? I didn't say anything about respect. Is that is respect a part of your success in your eye as the beholder? He hasn't earned respect. I don't think that's necessarily true. He may have not earned an overwhelming amount of it, but to say that it is completely void and non-existent, I don't know that we can say that. Can we say that he doesn't have a lot of respect here or in certain corners of the culture? Yes. And I do agree. The last one is better. Nisi says he would probably respond with numbers to prove his success. I agree. Jacob West says Drake thinking Drake is the shit is Drake's whole brand. He definitely thinks he's a success. Anna with the camera, how you doing, beautiful? Little bitty one says none of that matters because Billboard awards and streams are not Pulitzers. There are a whole lot of people who have no idea what the fuck a Pulitzer is, and they think the Twitch Award for Streamer of the Year is the pinnacle, babes. I didn't say they were right, but again, eye of the beholder. Nisi says, so Drake isn't aware of how he presents to other folks. I have a hard time believing he doesn't care. I think this is also complicatedly nuanced. I think that when you are a public figure and you experience a spate of being misrepresented in the media, and you know, because nobody knows better than you, objectively, when it is just straight up a misrepresentation, and you know you can't overcome it, you can't combat it, it's taken on legs of its own, it's doing its own laps, it just is what it is. And that builds up a kind of resentment towards the media, and then that resentment slants your perspective of what comes back in the feedback loop. And so when you say, is he not aware of how he presents to other folks? No, I don't think he is. I think that Drake is aware of how he intends to present himself, and he is aware of how he is mischaracterized in his mind in the press, because once you have authentically been mischaracterized in the press, it is easier for you to throw everything into that pail, whether it is actual and authentic misrepresentation of who you are or mischaracterization of who you are or not. It just becomes easier to do that. And I feel like he has fallen into that trap. And then also, I feel like it's compounded by the fact that he doesn't have real friends around him so that he can unplug from the motherfucking internet and plug into real people around him and like recharge, rebalance, clear his eyesight. You know, I just don't think that that happens for him. He gets what he wants done. It's usually stupid, but he gets it done. Drake believes Drake is a success. I'm not sure Aubrey does. There's such a need for outside validation underlying everything he does. Yeah, I'm going to tell you straight up that I think Drake and Aubrey are fused at this point in time. But that's just my take. Floral says he gets shit done. It's awful shit, but it's getting done. There is an expectation that success can only be done in perpetuity nowadays, too. You can have a successful restaurant and still have it go under or close when all is said and done. That comment from Claudia, very true. That is very true. And we've talked about this before in terms of I've had a long-standing opinion that Drake is afraid to let go of certain assets that drain his cash because he wants to maintain that exact persona and perspective, that success is in perpetuity. It only continues and grows. It never shrinks or retracts. And so he's going to keep the embassy longer than he should keep the embassy. He's going to keep the plane longer than he should keep the plane, and so on and so forth, because he cannot fathom downsizing. That is a sign of failure. I love this, Kiki. Kiki said, I haven't even read it yet, but all I saw was my standard of success can be defined. And I was like, woo, I love it. My standard of success can be defined by goal, execution, result. If A does not meet or exceed C, then that's not success. Failure is not always a bad thing. It's something to learn from. Agreed 1,000%. I agree with that 1,000%. So Kiki says my standard of success can be defined by goal, execution, result, right? And again, there's no morality in there. There's nothing about what other people grade Kiki's goal, execution, or result as being good or bad or positive or negative or high score or low score. Success is defined by goal, execution, result. Period. If A does not meet or exceed C, if the goal does not meet or exceed the result, then that's not success. That's a nice little nuanced difference as well. Jacob West says he thinks he's a success, but he don't feel it. Feel you when you say that, no pun intended. I really do feel that when you say that. He would publicly say he's a success. I mean, he had banners made for his little home basketball court for his little records that he done broke for these little 3 albums. I said, that's stupid, but whatever. You got banners in a gym, ain't nobody ever gonna see except you is just the epitome of sad to me, but whatever. Excuse me, whatever. Anna with the camera coming through with the receipts per his song. Successful. He wants the money, cars, clothes, and hoes. He's had them all and won't let anyone forget it. So, yes, he is a success by his own definition. Very good, Anna with the camera. I appreciate that. Gay homosexual. Declare it. He just wants to be liked. He tries so hard. He spends so much money to get it just to end up being this. Yep. Maddie Warhol says, I think Drake has a certain level of obliviousness. I think I would agree with that. That is self generated, but also constantly reinforced. I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. Kiki says, I can guarantee you one of Drake's goals, even if he won't admit it, is being married and having a family. We got to hit all the things, chat. We got to hit all the things. I'm like, where are my buttons? Where are my buttons?
High five. I'm bulletproof.
Okay, I can finish reading your comment now. Kiki says, I can guarantee you one of Drake's goals, even if he won't admit it, is being married and having a family. He probably has not met a lot of personal goals. He is failing in his personal life. Again, I appreciate this distinction. I appreciate this distinction. Even though I do think the two have merged and melded together quite a bit, there is still room for these two separates, right? They're like conjoined twins sharing one leg, but they still each have their own leg. Drake still has his own leg. Aubrey still has one of his own legs, and then they share a fused leg together. I appreciate this. Oh yeah, he's got the numbers. He's got, he's got the fame. He's got the hoes. He's got the cars. He doesn't have a wife. He has a kid. He doesn't have his own family. Your mama and your daddy don't count. You don't have your own family as a grown-ass man. I agree with this. Down. Osmosis bless is another great word. Drake is a perfect example of how things don't make you happy. This is another banger right here. Afro Butterfly, past success does not equal today's success. Or, if I may be so blunt as to add on to this, tomorrow's success. Niecy, wait. He had banners made for his home court. Somebody can check and tell me if I hallucinated that. But yes, he had, I'm pretty sure it was tied to the album releases and the first couple weeks numbers. Yeah, he had banners. They're blue. And there's several of them too. There's like 6 banners that he had raised in his home basketball court because he posted a photo of him underneath them with a stupid caption. That's what's in my memory. The chat can determine whether or not I'm hallucinating or not. Yeah, I mean, I know this is really crazy to say this because I'm almost 50 and my children are grown and living their own lives. But it is, I kind of gone through stages with this, but in the last year or so, I think I've just been having revelations that have been hitting me differently than they have in the past because, again, I've had children. I know what it's like to give birth to new humans who don't know anything. I know what it is like to watch them develop, to watch them learn, to watch them have light bulb moments. I know what it is to teach them things, to answer their questions, to explain things to them, to create their worldview, to give them answers to the things that they don't understand. I understand how, even more than ever before, I understand what an awesome power that is as a parent to literally mold the mind of another person. and what their frame of reference is and what is possible to them in the world, what is possible for them in the world. And we've talked about this before as well, is that Drake didn't have a normal childhood because he was a celebrity. And when you are that age and you are a celebrity, you're being treated differently by adults. You're being treated differently by other children. And so I have a lot of concern about, I mean, rhetorical concern. I don't actually give a shit about this man. And I don't mean that in a malicious way. I have a lot of rhetorical concern about just how Drake's mind was wired when he was little, and at what point that wiring was either arrested or hijacked by the circumstances he was living through. And one of the things that I point to the most in my mind, there are several examples, but one of the things that really sticks out for me is when he was on The Shop and he told the story of what his mother told him about her experience of going to the black barber shop. And that was when I realized that Drake was a white supremacist, because Drake's mother's version of what happened at the barber shop and how she was treated at the barber shop is not the truth of the matter. It's a white woman's experience. But he, without question, accepted her version of events as a child. My mom told me she wasn't treated well at the barbershop when she would try and take me. I'm not really comfortable because of the way they treated my mom. My immediate question, as somebody adopted or otherwise, and I'm adopted, I had a white parent in the home. So my immediate question is, how did they behave in the barbershop to black people? Or do you just not give a fuck about that because you don't actually give a fuck about the experiences of black people because you weren't raised to? Because your mother is white. I was very lucky. Very lucky. My parents fucked up on a lot of things. But one of the ways where they excelled, and they had their own biological children, so they had mixed children, and then there was me, and our ethnicities did not necessarily match, but I looked the part, so I was slotted into the family. But one of the things that to this day, I give my parents an awesome amount of credit for was that my dad never tried to extend his white privilege to his children, and he never tried to make us biracial, multiracial, part this, part that. He was like, no, you're black. And that's how you have to live in the world, as black. And that's the experience that we want to center, because that's reality. And my feelings as your father, even though I wasn't his biological child, he would still talk to me in that way. My feelings as your father about whether or not you adequately represent my lineage is not your fucking responsibility, because I'm white. You can't represent my lineage because you're not white. One of the greatest things my parents did. Now, mind you, it didn't have the same impact on all of their children. Didn't have the same impact on all of their children. But it was the right thing to do. And it set me straight from a very young age, even without it being said explicitly, or even without me being able to verbalize it in adult language, which was that whiteness is not the penultimate of any experience where race is involved. And when white people say something is a thing, that should not be the thing that you run to co-sign. Because you're not going to find the truth of the situation if you are not equally examining what Black people went through in the situation. So that was a long way of saying, I agree that boy ain't got a fucking clue because he wasn't wired that way. He wasn't wired that way. And so that frustration of he doesn't get it, he doesn't get it. He wasn't wired that way, and he has been unwilling to do the rewiring or to change his mind about things, which is possible, period. It is. But we all know his therapists keep firing him because he's not willing to do authentic fucking work to shake up his comfort zone and change his worldview in terms of his worldview's proximity to himself and the people that he loves the most. And in a lot of ways, you can't fault somebody for that. He loves his mom. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can love your mother and also prospectively, if not physically, keep her in her proper place in relation to your Blackness. And hey, your mom might have done a shit job with regards to teaching you about your Blackness, to be around Black people, all of those things. I've talked about my own experience, about being raised in a predominantly white area, going to a school where we were the first Black kids. And I've been very clear that there became a point in my life that I decided to move into different colored spaces. I decided to challenge my worldview about Blackness and whiteness. I had to make the choice myself when I had the agency to do that, regardless of what it was that my parents had taught me. Us children were still more comfortable in certain spaces than we were in other spaces. And I made the choice to challenge myself on that. And that was not easy. And nobody could have done that for me. I had to be uncomfortable. I had to be awkward. I had to be teased, embarrassed, sometimes humiliated as being the light skinned or the mixed girl, and people making a bunch of assumptions, naturally looking at my parents and saying, oh, you half white. Well, actually, no, I'm not. I'm adopted. Okay, so anyway, oh, you got that good hair. Oh, you got to go through a bunch of bullshit. Definitely a lot of years of mocking and teasing and people trying to challenge your Blackness. And you have to find it. You have to find it. You have to discover that which is already within you. You have to realize, I don't need another motherfucker to agree with my Blackness. You have to expose yourself to an array of Black people to realize for as many Black people there are on the planet, that's as many ways as there are to be Black. And once you get that, you can let go of so many people. You can reposition people. And you create your own strength for how it is that you perceive yourself. You're not reliant upon other people's perceptions of your Blackness. Clearly, I am now sober because I am all the way in my bag. I was trying to think of this 15 minutes ago. I was still a little hazy. Nisi says, all of a sudden his Black excellence, but I guess when it comes to me, it's not the same though. All good. It's different in a sinister way. Because straight up, you can, if you don't work through it, you can develop a resentment. I definitely went through a period where I resented every single Black person I fucking came across because my peers were brutal to me out there in the world. And I did not know how to handle myself. I was alien to Black culture. I didn't know how to handle myself. So I definitely went through a period of feeling defensive, resentful, all of the things. And you can stay there and not push any further. to try and get to a space. And I wasn't even trying to I was never, ever, 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 ever trying to get to a space where Black people accepted me. I was trying to get to a space where I accepted myself as Black. Because literally, once you accept yourself as Black, there is not another motherfucking Black person that can say shit to you about your Blackness. And I will cuss a motherfucker out if they try. Because you don't know my life, dog. You look at me and assign a social construct. I am actually smarter than you. And I know who and what I actually am. So that's why when people jump up to say something about me, my response is, thank you for saying that out loud so that I could hear you, so that I could tell you, you're absolutely wrong. And when somebody mischaracterizes you, you have nothing but the green light to correct them. It doesn't matter what the fuck their perspective is. And he's just never gotten there. Instead, he has a persona. Nigga, I said again. Nigga. 37 times. Nigga. That's his Blackness. It's exhausting. And it's sad to watch because for me, I'm like, this is textbook. I've seen this 1,000 times. This isn't even just me talking about my own experience. I saw it in my siblings growing up. I've seen it in other people. I've seen it in people who are biracial, people who are not biracial, but are very light skinned. Like, I have seen this so many times. I was vocal in fighting against when people decided they wanted to try and introduce, biracial as if it socially means something. And then you had a fucking bunch of obnoxious little light-skinned motherfuckers running around saying, I'm biracial. Oh, baby, I hate to tell you this, but you are most definitely Black. And for the majority of those little motherfuckers running around on the planet talking about, I'm biracial. No, your mom is white. You are Black. You got that from a white mom. You're biracial. Nope, you're Black. Because only a privileged, dumb fuck white woman would incept that into a Black child. Because race is a social construct. It doesn't actually have any fucking thing to do with who your parents are. It has to do with how you are perceived by other people in the world. And if you can't get past that perception, you're fucked. I was never mixed. I had somebody say that to me, but that did not come from the home. That did not come from the home for me. I was never mixed. My parents never said some shit like that to me ever. Ever. They explained what biracial was, and I knew that I was biracial, but I was Black. Do you know what I mean? Like, I knew what made me up, but they weren't like, no, you're biracial. They were like, no, you're Black. Your mama was this, your daddy is this, that makes you this, and society sees you as this. You're Black. Oh, Jesus Christ. But I can be both, beloved. You definitely can't. You can't be white. And that's the litmus test right there. You can't be white. Yeah, when somebody tells me they're biracial, I know already I'm going to have an annoying fucking conversation with that person, especially if they're Black. Especially if they're Black. They're vegan. They drink cashew milk. And they use nature deodorant. And I don't like them. I said what I said. I'm not going to apologize for it. Yeah, I definitely think there was some incepting of concepts into that, what went into the Furry Bee Production says, I still genuinely believe Drake wrote that What's the Dirt Family Matters breakdown script. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. So is Drake a success? I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, chat. I posed the question to you. I have been challenged lately, as I shared, on what my definition is and, what my beholding eye sees. So I leave room for that. I think I agree with what was said earlier. Technically, in his profession, yes, you could say that he is a success. Is he a success in his personal life? I don't know enough to say definitively yes or no, but I would respectfully suggest, that if you were successful in all areas, you wouldn't feel desperate enough to go out and have to do this shit. That's all I'm saying.
Silly.
Yeah. I am absolutely, by the way, you can look me dead in my eyes. If you say do it, I would fully commit.
Okay. You're saying this, and now I'm gonna like test it.
Okay. What do we, just give me like one.
Would you bark for me? Good boy.
This is all I got. This head shake is all I got. There are so many different thoughts going through my brain right now that I'm just like, I want to say thank you to Alana for your contribution to the Docket Fund. Deeply appreciate you. We only got about 900 to go to get even, but I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Is Koala in here? Did I miss it? Where is Koala? Oh, there you are. Hello, beautiful. I don't want to put any pressure on you, okay? But I just want to say, just for the sake of clarification, that I sent a message to you via Furry Bee with my email address because I would like to talk to you. And your email is not on your YouTube page. No pressure. But I would like to talk to you. Potentially, I would like to have you as a guest on Conversations for the Culture. I don't know if I'm being too forward right now. Maybe this is inappropriate. But I don't know what else to do because you don't have an email address. I don't have an Instagram right now for the AFL. I have an Instagram for the new podcast, and I tried to message you, and it was like, you peasant. Why are you trying to message this man? No, we are not going to pass your message through, you newbie. I was like, okay. So I'm just putting it on blast. I done sent this man over to your DMs in your Discord, I believe, to give you my email address. And if you'd like to rap, because I feel like we should. I feel like we both went through something. We should have a conversation. And then, we can have a conversation about whether or not you'd like to have a conversation with me that is published for people to see. So I just wanted to say that. Because I was in your chat earlier today in between things that I had to do, like, how do I oh God. And then I had to bounce. So thank you for popping through. How you doing? You have a good day. We're winding up here. We've had an eclectic conversation that started off with a little bit of alcohol. I needed some help to get through the Drake videos. So it's after dark. Had a little drinky drink and did a bunch of clowning and then got to the seriousness of the conversation. And now we just starting to wrap up. But I hope you had a wonderful day. I hope everybody had a wonderful day, child. It's Tuesday. It is Tuesday. The live that we had earlier today, reading the updated documents fighting release, the government fighting Andrew and Tristan being released, there were some genuine laugh out loud moments where I was like, this is the funniest shit ever. But I want to tell you all about another laugh out loud moment that I had later in the day. Actually, not very long before I started this live, I was gasping for air. So I'm scrolling through social media and I see a breaking news alert, right? And the United States is at war with Iran. It's not going well, okay? There have been several agreements that have been proffered and signed, and there have been, ceasefires broken. The Strait of Hormuz has been opened, it's been closed, then it's been open again, then it's been closed again, then it's been open again, then it's been closed, then it's been open. I'm being legit. And then it was closed again. If you're wondering where we are, it was closed. One of the sticking points here for Iran is we had a deal. You owe us a lot of money. That's ours, that the United States has in its possession. Donald Trump is a senile old fuck in a diaper and also functionally illiterate. So he raged on Truth Social all day today about how there was no agreement. They never said they were going to pay Iran, never said they were going to release this and the other. And just because he was so pissed off and in a tizzy about being exposed, about hiding in a fucking food container to get away from an assassination attempt, he decided to say that actually Iran needs to pay America the exact sum of money that America is withholding from Iran. You're caught up? Okay, great. All of that was just background to put into perspective for you the announcement that Iran released today. Remember, Strait of Hormuz closed, negotiations not happening. Iran came out today and made an announcement that they are going to resume negotiations with the United States of America. Isn't that generous of them? They're so sweet. They're going to resume those negotiations about the Strait of Hormuz and everything else that's going on around Iran. January 21, 2029. I almost fell out of my chair. I laughed so fucking hard. I watched it like 6 times. I laughed so fucking hard because I didn't see it coming, I didn't see it coming. Iran has announced they will resume negotiations with the United States. I really thought they were going to say 2027. Like, oh, wow, they're going to make Donald sweat for the next year. They said, no, we will come back and negotiate with the United States government after that motherfucker is gone. Literally the day after he's gone, we will host you, serve you traditional Iranian coffee and tea and little treats and whatnot. But before then, your president is fucking crazy and senile. So the strait stays closed. Fucking try us. We will bomb your shit. I was like, they really said January 21st, 2029. I said, I didn't see that coming. That's not how I thought that sentence was going to end. Hello, beautiful. Good to see you. They said to the day. To the day that motherfucker is gone. We're happy to talk. We're happy to talk. Oh God, they have got him. You want to talk about a bitch on a leash? They are fucking the president up. It's not just your cars. It's not just your cars. You want to know one of the reasons why? Sony and PlayStation aren't going to be releasing physical media anymore? You want to know what the straw was breaking the camel's back for them? Aside from the fact that they don't have their pulse on the secondhand market, the biggest factor for that decision was the amount of money that it is going to cost us to get a physical fucking game. Oil goes into everything. Every fucking thing. And they know that we're not going to pay those prices for physical media. And because we're talking about a foreign company that has a better grasp on America and economics and probabilities, they know we're not going to have any money. Consumers, we're not going to have any money. The conversation that's happening by serious economists in the United States right now and around the world is the fact that Americans are running out of money because of these costs that we cannot afford. We cannot afford the groceries. We cannot afford gas. We cannot afford this, that, or the other. And it has gotten to the point that people can't afford life for a week. It's everything. It's everything. Oil is everything. Well, I mean, you can take that down by at least 50 billion because countries have been buying their shit up to help them with that. But yes, you are correct. They too are also having issues. Yeah, they own some of our debt. They're having their own issues with their currency while they're well, whatever. Anyway, I'm not going to get into the complicated nature of the fact that the United States doesn't know how to negotiate good trades with other companies. But yes, there are other countries that own a bunch of our debt, whose currencies are faltering right now because the economy is in a terrible fucking place. Terrible. And you can't even do like a debt forgiveness to help bolster things because there's no room. We don't have a surplus to be able to forgive your debt. And that's exactly why America bought, I don't remember what it was, 10 billion, 50 billion yuan or something like that in the past couple weeks to help bolster Japan's economy. Because the last thing that America needs is for China or Japan to come with a bill. Say, I'm sorry, we're going to need you to pay some of this off. America's fucked if that happens. Because we ain't got it. We are robbing Peter to pay Paul. I'm sorry. We are robbing Peter to bomb Muhammad every other fucking day. We ain't got it. Subscribe to my new podcast, The Democrats Fucking Suck. It's actually called The Democrats Suck, but you get the idea. Yes, because they need them. That's why China has been making moves for rare earth minerals around the planet long before the United States has, China has many more agreements than the United States does, and that's why Donald Trump was trying to steal Greenland, because he is upset about China's presence there with regards to rare earth minerals, even though legislatively by law, China can only have so much of a presence there. They can only own so much there before legally they cannot. Donald Trump was like, well, we want to own it all, because then I can rip up the contracts with China and redraw them and make them pay more. Whoever got him thinking about rare earth minerals, however that happened, it's been going on since his first administration, believe it or not. But rare earth minerals has been a bee in his bonnet since his first administration. He's not wrong about America being on the back foot when it comes to that, but he is wrong about everything that he's doing to try and address it. Everything. I did not bring my crystal ball, and that's not how they work. Baby, I don't know. Who's we? I might not make it till tomorrow. People die every day. Okay? People die every day. Do you mean, are they going to kill us all before then? Or is the sun going to have some mercy and just swallow us all up and put us out of our misery? I don't know. But I understand how you feel, because there are definitely days where I cannot fucking fathom. I genuinely cannot fucking fathom 2.5 more years of this. I can't fathom it. The destruction that has been wrought so far is so devastating. I can't fathom what it's going to be like in 2 years. And that is why every day I think about the day. Yes, child, I think about the day. I think, Jesus, let me make it to the day. Let me make it to the day. You know what day I'm talking about. It's the day we're all waiting for. Let it happen on camera live. No delay. Okay? Let us all be able to see it. Let us see the aneurysm hit his brain where he's talking. Then his face starts to slide a little bit on one side, as it already does, because he's already had several little micro, let that happen. And then let us see his eyes roll back into his head as he stiffens and just like a board falls the fuck over, preferably face down. Yeah, preferably face down. And then you see people jump up, panic, screaming. Security comes in, Secret Service to grab him up. We need to make way. We need a doctor. Is there a doctor in the room? So do I know if we gonna make it till after his job? I don't know. I'm just praying we make it to the day. I want that for all of us. Okay, not just me. I want it for you. I want it for people I don't even like. I especially want it for people I don't like. Actually, I especially want that day for motherfuckers I don't like, because they gonna lose their shit. I was literally talking to a BFF today. Damn it, I left my phone downstairs. I was literally talking to a BFF today, and I was sending her a DM voice message, and it started with breaking news. And I was, telling her about something in the news. At least that was my intention. And then I caught myself and I stopped, because I thought to myself, she's going to immediately think that I'm talking about it, and I'm not talking about it. So I need to clarify for her. This message is not about that. I know I don't start messages with breaking news very often. You might be under the impression that I'm messaging you to tell you that it's happened. It hasn't happened. That's not what I'm messaging you for. Also, I would call you. I would call you. And this is one of my BFFs for life. Okay. We've been 2Ps for 30 fucking years or something like that. But we never call each other. We see each other damn near every week. We DM each other and voicemail each other 11 times a day. We don't call each other. It happens on occasion, but more often than not, we don't. So I was saying to her, when it happens, I will call you if I find out first. And I expect you to call me too. And I know that makes us feel some kind of way when we look down at our phones and see that the other person is calling, like, oh shit, something happened. Somebody must have died. Yes. Yes. That's why I'm calling. It's happened. But that's not today. And then I told her whatever the fuck I was telling her that was in the news. But yeah, I think about it every day. I do. I think about it every day. It's part of what gets me through a day. It's just, dearly beloved, pray to your gods, your deities, and your patron saints, child, that we all live to see that day. Oh my God, I will lose it. I will lose it. I will be so inappropriate. One of the things that my friend said back to me was, people are gonna lose their minds. I wish I had my phone with me. People are gonna lose. We're all going to collectively lose our minds. She said it's gonna be. She said the degree to which people celebrate it when it happens is going to be completely inappropriate. And I was like, oh, it's gonna be so inappropriate. It is going to be so inappropriate, but it is going to be true. I will not be able to contain myself. I won't be messaging people. I will be going live as fast as possible. And I will be, this is kind of the sequence as I see it, right? I think all the time about, how am I actually going to find out that it happens? Am I going to see it myself in the news? Am I going to get an alert from, very special news agencies that I allow to alert me about things having to do with the president? Am I going to get a phone call? Am I going to get a DM from somebody? Like, how is that going to happen? I don't know the answer to that, but I do know what's going to happen next. I'm going to scream loud. I'm going to clap. I'm going to jump up. I might get out pots and pans like we're thanking nurses after 9/11 and bang them outside the fucking window. I'm going to scream things like, it's happened. It's finally happened. Turn on the fucking news. I'm going to scream it to all of my neighbors. I'm literally going to go outside because I'm going to need to do laps. Okay. I'm going to need to do a couple laps to work it out of me. I'm going to be screaming, whooping, hollering, banging things, and yelling nonsensical things so that my neighbors know I'm not having a mental health crisis. Something has happened. You should check the news. Then I'm going to come back inside, close and lock the door. There will be conversations with people. There will be all of that. There are at least 2, maybe 3 conversations I'll have to have exhaustively. I'll be trying to have them as quickly as possible. And then I will come here. I will come here and we will discuss. We will discuss in the greatest detail possible tonight on a very special episode of Abso-fucking-lutely. I won't remember our typical intro. I won't remember none of that shit. Don't be surprised if the live starts and I'm running in circles around the living room. I think the most excited that you all have ever seen me is when I was in a live talking about whatever the fuck it was we were talking about. I'm sure somebody remembers what it was. I don't. But we were having a live on something, and then I got the email that said Drake v. UMG had been dismissed. I think that is the most oh my fucking God, you all have seen me. It will be 1,000 times just more. More good, more bad. I don't know, but it will be 1,000 times more than what you saw on that day. I think about this. I do. I love that song, by the way. Ding dong, the Wicked Witch is dead. I love it. But I think about that. I think about that with him when it happens. Ding dong, that motherfucker is dead. Oh, inshallah, I live. Inshallah, I live to see the day when it happens. Kiki says, I'm being very serious. When it happens, I'm knocking on my Mexican neighbor's door and hugging them and their kids. I can tell you right now. Okay, if we are still together, proverbially speaking, not just me and Kiki, me and all of you, okay? Because we're going together. I don't know if you know this, but we go together. If we are still together when it happens, or alternatively, when he leaves the Oval Office, whatever happens first, it is a distinct possibility that things will be revealed on this channel that I've never discussed before, because it will be safe to do so after that. Definitely when he leaves office, especially if we for somehow manage to elect a Democrat, there will be things revealed on this channel I've never talked about that you have no clue of whatsoever that are not safe to talk about. So that'll be one change that happens. It won't happen immediately. We'll have to get through the morning first. And then after our 10 days of morning, then I'll probably have some things to share. I said everybody. We all in a throuple together. We all go together. Oh, there will be a special meal. There will be a brunch and mimosas. There will be so many things. I have a list of 5 people. If you've been here for a very long time, you know I have 5 nemesis. It's nemesis, but I like to say nemesis. Oh my goodness. We have hit the evening hours. The sun has gone down, as you can tell. We're in the evening lighting of the AFL. I just looked down like, okay, well, something has changed. The sun is gone, and the purple and blue lights are on in the background. I was confused for a second. Remember when we had the Mars situation? I was like, wait, what happened? Nope, it's not Mars. This is what's supposed to be happening right now. Anyway, nemesis is how it should be. Yes, I have 5 nemesis. Okay, and 2 of them I just want to die. And if you're wondering, is one of those 2 people one of the people that you had decided you were going to murk at one point in time? Nope. Nope. Nope, that's not even one of the 2 people that I'm just like, oh, just die. And dear God, let me be alive to get the news that you are dead. It's going to be all the things. There's going to be drinking. There's going to be shit. I might bust out a couple things on this channel that you ain't never seen before. You ain't never heard before. You might see some people on this channel and be like, wait a fucking minute. What the fuck is going on? Because it will be people that you recognize. And you'll be like, oh, what the fuck are they doing in your house? Oh, beloved, we're related. We're kin. You all ain't never said nothing? We ain't never say shit. That's discipline. I'm turning all the way up. You want me to put on a veil? Okay, I will put on a veil and twerk my ass. Oh, boo-hoo, he died. Fuck him. We sip and drink. We might smoke on a couple of things. I might actually show some ankle. Okay, a shirt with some cleavage. Get him properly sat in a good shelf bra. Come on and sing y'all happy birthday in my little Marilyn Monroe voice. That's when you know you all lucky, okay? Absa got titties out and she's singing like Marilyn. Clearly, somebody died. Oh, my goodness gracious. Yep. If you know, you know. Oh, gosh, that's funny. Nisi said ankle. We want some kneecaps, Absa. All right. All right. Damn. Trying to get me to second base right away. All right. Whew. Y'all got me hot. Shit. But yeah, that'll be what happens there. I'm gonna be unabashed. And a motherfucker better not come to my door ignorant because I know I've got some maggots in my neighborhood. But the Alphabet Mafia, we're bigger than that. Our numbers are bigger, but I know I will be outside. I will be screaming. I will be whooping and hollering. I will be screaming things like, he's fucking dead. He's fucking dead. I really will. I really will. I just know that I will. And then I will go back in my house and lock the door, and the motherfucker better not show up. Were you disrespecting the president? I don't know. Let me go get Betty. You can ask her. Shh, Betty. This motherfucker wants to know if we was disrespecting the president. He ain't the president no more. He dead. Graduated thought said, what the fuck did I? You didn't say that. I put that in there for you. Graduated thought said, what the hell did I just walk into? Nothing worse than Drake's cooter pants than last night. Nothing worse than that. Okay? Nothing worse than that. You'll be fine. Replay gang it. It'll make sense. Nisi said, I just feel like kneecaps would be appropriate for the occasion. Okay, first of all, that's a lie. Okay, you're supposed to come demure for the service. You're supposed to come demure. Ain't supposed to be no kneecaps. Okay, you want me to be the harlot at the funeral? Okay. Okay, I can do that. This happens to me when I tap in with other people. This is why I had to leave Qualities Live this morning. And there'll be sometimes when I'll turn on We Are Deciphered, and I'm like, I'll say hi to the chat. Hey, y'all, I've got y'all in the background. I never get shit done. This also happens when I watch Curtis King, when he's talking about whatever the hell he's talking about, or he's, critiquing people's music. I'm like, oh, this is great. I'll just put it on in the background. And then he just starts saying the things that he says, and I am inevitably laughing, wheezing, crying. And then also there's the chat. You all, mwah, 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 awards for you. You all are top fucking tier on every channel. Be taking me out. I'll be there 3, 4, 5 hours. I ain't get shit done. Not a fucking thing. So I'm honored that I could have that impact on you. Thank you. Nisi says, I wore a red dress to a funeral once. I knew what I was doing, and I will not be elaborating further. I wore a lime green dress to a funeral once. I knew exactly what I was doing. And I also will not be elaborating further, except to say I was 22. It was sleeveless and a maxi dress. Jacob, you're not the only one. There are some people who literally listen at work. I don't know why y'all do that. I love you for it. I don't know why y'all do that. And then they send me angry messages. Absa, I can't breathe at work. Absa, my colleagues are looking at me crazy. Absa, why you, beloved, you should know what's going to happen. And it's unfortunate, right? Because we can start off in a very calm place. Very calm, very professional, like we can be reading what seems to be an ordinary, slightly mundane document. And then we see somebody refer to themselves as Vladimir Scorpius, and it's over from there. It's fucking over from there. This shit just, falls all the way down. One sideways comment from it was a summer funeral. It was a summer funeral. This person was not my family. Was I in the family section? Yes, I was. And if you're thinking, "Oh, ABSA, were you?" I fucking was not. I would not do that. That was not my position or why I was there. But I knew what I was doing. Yeah, and then the next thing you know, we got duck coochie. That's not my fault. I didn't do that. First of all, I didn't even think that shit up. Other people put those two things together. And what have I always said? I am but a conduit for the chat. Okay? That's it. The fact that I then edited and put it together, that's not on me. That's y'all sick motherfuckers' fault.
Gwen, what's wrong?
I got shiny pants.
And what's wrong with your shiny pants?
Someone could have a duck in my cooter.
And what did you learn, Gwyneth?
There's a reason it's hard to find shiny pants for girls who can start a fire with their
You people did this. You did it. See? This is it right there. And I have said things in Curtis King's live chat that I've just been like surprised at myself. Furry B Production says, "So you're saying this song is for the ladies? This is the song for men who fantasize about women who don't exist." Curtis King always hits the funny bone. There was one about, I don't even remember what it was about. I just remember that I said something to the effect of, "Nah, fuck that. Give me my granny panties back. I'm leaving." I know it was during a live where inevitably he brought up Smokey Robinson's gasms onto the screen. So that was definitely a part of the conversation. But we were talking about something else. He was reviewing a song. And it was and Curtis again was like, "So ladies, da 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 da." And I was like, "If you don't give me my fucking granny panties back so I can go home, no." No, this shit is not doing it for me at all. Disgusting. Gasms. Oh, that Curtis King. He is fucking hilarious. I also really love his analogies and the way that he describes things to people. I'm just like, every time I listen to him, that's why I tune in, to the point that was made earlier about I'm trying to get some shit done. Sorry, not sorry. But I really genuinely love listening to him explain his points to people, because I think his analogies just hit every single time. Some of them are really funny, yes, but most of them are really demonstrative of the point it is that he's trying to make. And I have such a deep respect for that as somebody who is obsessed with communications. I really do. I think he's amazing at it, really. Oh my God, the reverb on the smoke detector beep in the beat of a misogynistic song. I definitely remember it was a misogynistic song. And just like, I mean, because there was a reference to panties, either in the song or Curtis saying something to the effect of, "Ladies, just getting your panties down? You dropping your panties for this?" And I was like, "If you don't snatch his granny panties, I'm going home. No, you can't drive me. Get away from me." Yeah, hilarious. He really does. He really does. I think he keeps the poking fun. I think it's just at the right level. And then always making sure to follow that up with really useful critique and good analogies to help them really understand. And there have just been some things where I'm like, "Oh, he's so right." Like, there have been some times where he has said, "I can tell when you're going off the dome, and I can tell when you have to read the lyrics because you can't remember all of the words that you crammed into this verse." the energy shifts, this shifts, that shifts in the song, and that is something as again, I'm a ghostwriter. I write a lot of different shit for a lot of different people, and for a lot of different kinds of people at different levels, right? And so, but one of the kind of genres that I write for is people who need to say something succinct and well crafted without sounding like they're reading something. It's not easy. It's very difficult to do. It's difficult to write and it's difficult to pull off, but it can be done. So even things like that, I'm like, I know exactly what he's talking about because I know what that sounds like in my work. I can tell you're reading. You have to keep doing it until we can't tell you're reading. Graduated Thought says, how does one become a ghostwriter? Well, I don't know if I can answer that question any easier than when people ask me, how does one become a strategist, right? I could tell you all about how I became a strategist. Honestly, the story of how I became a ghostwriter parallels that entire experience, which is at first I was the note taker, then I was the typist who people dictated things to. Then I was, and there are long gaps in between these things. These are not like, and then it's like I was this for a while, and then I was this for a while, and then I was this for a while. So I went from being note taker to person who typed what was dictated to her to person who drafted a thing or part of a thing and then sent it on for other people to say yes or no, change, not change, etc. To being the person assigned to draft a thing for a lawmaker who needed to give public testimony at a hearing. I needed to draft their remarks. I think I would have to think really hard about what is the first thing that I was a ghostwriter for. But it was probably something like it was either I wrote an elected official's public statements or I wrote an elected official's op-ed in a major newspaper. My name is nowhere in there. Nobody knows that I wrote it. Their name is on it. I'm nowhere in the equation. Their name is on the thing. So I've ghostwritten aside from music, damn near almost anything that you could kind of imagine that other people could put their name on. I've done curriculum, I've done some legal stuff, I've done technical writing, academic writing. I've done a bunch of different things that other people have put their name on. Yeah, it depends on like your industry and you know what I mean? Um, yeah, it just depends. So I had a very specific in to it. It was never actually even a goal of mine. This was a case of other people seeing things in me. Of course, I would have ideas and suggestions and what if we change that word or that sentence, but I was really kind of demure and never had the assumption that I would be the person to ever draft a thing. I do remember the first time I was working on something for somebody. It was a family member, but I was working on something for them and I had worked on things for them several times. And there just became a point, and this was somebody who worked in community and had a very visible presence and was an advocate for children and, so on and so forth. And there was just a day where she, sat down, explained what was going on, what the communication was that was needed. And she said, "You're going to draft it." And I remember being like, "What?" She was like, "You know all of the components, so you're going to draft it, and then we'll talk in an hour and see what you've come up with." Yeah. And I remember being totally mind blown of like, "You're telling me to draft it. I'm not the writer." I'm not the writer. I'm the note taker or the person you dictate things to. And she was like, "No, you know this situation inside and out. You've been in all of the meetings. You can draft the next communication." So yeah, I learned a lot, even in nuance of things. Like I remember when I was told never to write permanent solution. I remember the first time I said it in a meeting and people gasped at me and I didn't understand why. And then I had to go to school, not because of that, but eventually I understood that I needed um, cultural competency and multicultural communication education, because my writing just got bigger. The audience got bigger and broader and further away from where I am and the life that I'm used to and what my frame of reference was. But I remember working on a policy thing and people kept talking about like, we need a long-term solution for this, that, and the other. And I was like, we don't need a long-term solution. We need a permanent solution. I don't understand why we're not putting that language in. And the room literally fucking stopped. And everybody turned and looked at me like, did you just say that? And gently somebody explained to me, we do not use that kind of terminology. And I was like, why? It's culturally insensitive. I was like, for what? And they were like, the Holocaust. And I just remember being like, oh my God. I was horrified, horrified. Thankfully, I was in a gentle room and people didn't assume anything malicious behind my ignorance. And they just explained it to me in a way that was very helpful. But it was one of the first indicators of there's things about common language and the connotation of phrase that I don't know that I'm going to need to know. And I took college classes that I fucking hated so that I could develop those skills, which is not, you never arrive, right? Because culturally competent writing evolves over time. But aside from, yes, giving me some concrete do's and don'ts and the whys of those do's and don'ts, it created an awareness for me whenever I am working on something to check things and to hire a team or to be working with a team, recruit a team that has what I don't have. So I've written policy that lawmakers have put their names on as the bill that they came up with. They did not come up with that bill. We came up with that bill. I wrote it. I've written remarks for all kinds of different people. Yeah, it's been interesting. I've written fuck yous eloquently. I've written all kinds of things for people or organizations or lawmakers or companies. I've done that as well. I've been contacted by companies that have fucked up and they need a public statement to address what it is that they've done. And they need a strategy for how it gets delivered, what's the follow-up going to be. And if you're coming to me for something like that, well, you don't even have to necessarily have fucked up. I'm not just going to help you write something because you need a writer. You're going to have to prove to me, especially if you're like a company that is coming because you have fucked up. You want to apologize to people. That's not enough for me as a person who's usually impacted by companies' fuck ups. But I will help you craft a statement that is accountability. And then I will also help you craft a plan that demonstrates that that statement is real. And if you can't do both, we're probably not going to work together. because I'm not going to help you cover your shit, but I will help you change if that's what you want to do. And if you don't want to do that, fucking log on to ChatGPT and good luck with that statement. Permanent solutions are not a thing. It's not language that we use. Also, it's not just culturally insensitive, it's irrational to the existence of the evolution of life and sociology. So nothing is a permanent solution in policy. That was the other thing that I learned. Not only is it completely fucking culturally insensitive, but it doesn't really have a place in policy or law, including the Constitution, because that can be amended. So everything is either a short, mid, or long-term solution. But nothing is a permanent solution when you're talking about policy at any level, local, state, federal. Pretty much. I was thinking about this the other day. It's up for fucking ever. It's up with him forever, and it's up for any of his crony little motherfuckers who want to say shit like, I inherited a beef I didn't have any part of. No, motherfucker, you hijacked it for your own personal gain because your friend is a sensitive little bitch and you wanted to help him out. Cool. It's up for life. And don't think olive branches and offers to meet haven't been extended. They have, but we move on. I don't want to talk about that biscuit head or his biscuit head ass friends. Y'all have had me here for almost 3 hours. I hope you're proud of yourselves because that's rare these days. I've been feeling quite shadow banned lately and very concerned that I was going to have to shutter this channel. We'll see how it goes. We've got a long way to go to climb ourselves out of this hill. But we gonna get there. Lives have been great. I do have some scripted videos. I know it's been a minute, but there's a lot that's been going on, beloved, okay? Here and just in my life and with work has just been a lot. And I have been mentally fucking exhausted. But I'm getting back into it. So there will be scripted videos on the AFL. Podcast episodes for The Democrat Suck will also be out this week. So we're just keep swimming is what we're doing here. That's it. Okay? So, good live. This was fun. I'm glad I trusted my gut when my gut was like, girl, get up and go live again. Get up and go live again. See what's going on with the people. See where the people at. What you doing? How you doing? Kiki says, I used to be a ghostwriter and I got an award for it. That is hilarious. Yeah, it was a good live. Yeah, it was a good live. I appreciate you all very much. We're all just getting through the week, and we nailed Monday. Okay. Our dismount might have not been pretty, but we got through the day. Okay. Now we've gotten through Tuesday. Miracles can happen. Miracles can happen. Yeah, it's good to see you all. Thanks. Some of them are better than others. It's definitely got me to examine some of my too often used conventions, and I appreciate that challenge. Yeah, usually it's spread out. Usually it's spread far the fuck out. And straight up, there are times when somebody will come to me for something and I've written something, and then somebody else will come to me for something and they need something written and they basically need that same exact thing. But I obviously can't use all of the exact same words. And then I just spend 5 to 10 hours trying to figure out How do I write the exact same fucking thing using completely different words? It's an interesting challenge, but I rise to it. I rise to it. I remember one of the first times that happened to me, and I was like, how is it you gonna come to me and ask me for something? I just wrote the best version of that for this motherfucker who came to me last week asking for it. How am I gonna do that again with different words? Is that possible? It is. It is possible. It's hard, but it's possible. Whoo, baby, good luck. Good luck. It's possible. You can do it, but it's rough out here. You know, it's rough out here. But we've made it through another day and we've had a wonderful life. And that is what I appreciate, in this moment. We're doing our best, Tom, and we did our best. Sure the fuck did better than these. I just cannot. So anyway, thanks for hanging out. If you joined late, replay gang this one, to the beginning. You'll enjoy it. If you were here for the whole time and you're like, but Abs, I'm not ready for it to be over. Beloved, it's over. But we had a live earlier today. Go run that one back and learn some things and laugh along with the rest of the class. Okay. We had a good old time. We sure did. We sure did. I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. We will just have to see. But if I don't see you, I hope you have a wonderful day. And I'll see you eventually. Okay. Sooner rather than later. Much love to you all.